We are very excited to welcome to Just Dance, an amazing choreographer and artistic director who has worked with everyone from Mariah Carey to Alicia Keys, Kelly Clarkson, Celine Dion. The list goes on, including a long-standing relationship with Christina Aguilera. Jeri Slaughter, welcome to Just Dance.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
My Jerry, I'm so
Yeah,
happy that you are here. It is, listen, if this is the only way I get to see your face, we'll just do this.
that is hilarious. Honestly, like I'll take it too, girl. Like, trust me. Like, there's nobody like Tina Landon, that's for sure.
Oh, you're sweet.
So,
Um, go.
T, you start with the first question. Go, girl.
I ask the same question all the time, and this is really for the viewers because you and I go way back, and we'll talk about that in a second. But tell everyone like your story as far as what brought you to dance. When did you start? Were you a kid? Like, what was that thing that got you interested and brought you to today?
Well, I mean, I actually started late for a dancer, right? Which was like 12. My parents, my dad was a big sports fan, so he coached football, he played, baseball, he was like super into sports, and the whole family really was like just, from his brothers and sisters, they all like grew up in the sports world.
Mhm.
And so, my early age, kid days, it was all sports driven. Like, you could not tell us. I was jumping from baseball to basketball to track and field, to soccer or whatever. And so there was always something though that drew me to dance. Like, even if I was playing sports, I was always dancing down the grocery aisle, you know what I mean? In the store, I was like, my mom was like, what are you doing? I was dancing at the dinner table. I went to a Catholic school. So there was a lot of, like talent shows, at the school and stuff like that. And I would always kind of want to do it, or, be like, can I at least like, get my cousins together or do whatever and come up with like some type of dance routine, because it was just something that I was super drawn to.
Right.
Um, and then I had a cousin who kind of did search out dance, I think, more than anyone that I knew. She did go to LA for a second, and, she actually auditioned for like Coming to America. And yeah, and she ended up, getting the part, but I think she was like 17 at the time. And I think their costumes were very revealing.
Yes.
So they were like, yeah, unfortunately, we think we need everyone to be legal. So I saw that process and I was like super, I think, drawn to it. There was something that was just like, God, I really actually want to do this, and do what she's doing, and further kind of the dance experience. So I like begged and pleaded my father. I said, look, I heard like through a friend at school that there was like this little kids dance company at a local studio in Sacramento, California. And I was like, can I please audition? Mind you, my sister, Monique Slaughter, was started at dancing at 3. So she was doing kind of dance and sports at the same time. So, little old me, 2 years older. So I'm always peeking through the window. I'm like, there to like pick her up with my mom or whatever. And I'm like, gosh, like, I would love to do that. So, but I always kind of just like never asked because I was a little bit nervous too, being like my dad being such a sports guy. I was like, there ain't no way he is letting me dance.
Right.
So finally I got the courage one day and I just went up to him and I said, look, I would really love to audition for this kids company. And, I talked to my sister about it. We've been close ever, since we were young. And Monique was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's just go in together. So I at least had like maybe that support to be like, oh, my parents may allow me to do it because my sister was also going to be there. And so I did, and they said, okay, go, let's see you audition and then we'll discuss after and see what happens. So,
No,
we,
you have no
yeah,
training up until now. You're just like, I'm gonna go do it.
nothing. All I had was dancing in the living room of my grandmother's house with all my cousins. Like, that's all I had.
Yeah.
And yeah, we both made it, and we both kind of you know, my parents were like, okay, cool, let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. And I was super happy, super excited. And I just jumped in full force. Like I wanted to learn everything. Like I didn't care what style it was. I was like, teach me jazz, teach me ballet, you know, teach us African. Like, yes, on the side, do the hip hop stuff, but like I just my brain wanted to just kind of absorb every detail that dance had.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that was the start of me. And I literally quit all sports. I never looked back. I was like, I, you know, at the age of like 16, I heard about Alvin Ailey was having a summer program in New York. And I was like, one of my modern teachers was like, you should really go and audition for this.
Wow.
And so I did. It was like in San Francisco, like we had to travel a little bit. And I went and did it, and I got a full scholarship. So they basically,
What?
yeah, they paid for my whole kind of summer program, which was very expensive. I mean, there was probably no way that my parents could even afford it, even if I did get it, you know.
Right.
But the fact that I got, you know, the full scholarship and room and board, they put us up at like Fordham University. That was all paid for. So again, I just wanted to further like every knowledge that I can get, you know, and going to New York was like such a major thing at 16. Like who does that, you know?
Yeah.
Knew nobody. Like I was out there at 16 living New York by myself, which was very scary. You know, I was calling my mom like, hey, I only have 25 cents in my bank account. You know, what am I going to eat? You know, but you know, that's the life of the dancer, you know, like you just kind of grind and you keep going, and you don't care, you know, you just love the art.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
that's kind of, you know, a major, like, I think career move, because I got a taste of, I think, what New York had to offer.
Right.
And so Alvin Ailey had actually asked if I wanted to stay and train for the second company. And I was 16 and I was really nervous to get that asked, because I was like, I don't think I should be making this decision by myself right now because I'm so young.
Right.
And I just said, you know what, I actually want to finish high school. Like that was just something I didn't want to like drop out. I wanted to like at least get my high school, you know, degree or diploma. And so I went back to Sacramento. I finished that. And then after that, I was like, I've never tried LA out. Like maybe I should kind of, and I don't know why this is going through, you know, a 17-year-old's head process at the time.
Right.
But I was like, maybe I should try LA out and then decide whether or not I want to do New York or do LA.
So smart.
And, you know, there was some major influences that pushed me to go to LA, one being the person that I'm talking to right now. You know, I don't even know if you know the story, but you know, you were like such a big part of my life, not only with us working together, but like even prior to even me moving out. Like I looked at, you know, the TV performances and the music videos and the concert tours, you know, of Janet and you and everybody else that came with it. And I was like, that's who I want to work for. That Tina Landon is the person that I want to work for. I want to dance for Janet. That was like at the top of my list.
I never knew that ever.
Really? Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you wanted to work with Janet. I think we talked about that, but no, just because, I mean, we'll talk about how we met and stuff, but because, you know, when people like Jeri's just exactly how you see him, right? He's just totally chill all the time. That's why I wore my shirt. He's just laid back, easy, chill. So when he gets excited, it's like, woo. You're like, are you like, he's not very animated. Like you just know Jeri to know, like, no, this is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't know any of that. Was your dad upset, or was he just glad that you found something you loved, or was it weird?
I think at first I think the initial ask, I think, took him back, like, whoa, where did this kind of come from? but he knew, like, I was dancing at the dinner table and he would be like, could you please stop, you know? So I think there's a part of him that knew that there was something else I wanted to do besides sports.
Right.
And then I think that particular ask, I think he kind of knew, like, okay, this is something my son wants to do. And then he ended up coaching me in dance. I mean, the guy had no training whatsoever. But he would, yeah,
Yeah.
he became that parent. And he was like, you know, son, you're falling out of those spin thingies, you know, and he had no idea what they were called. And I'm like, Dad, a pirouette? He's like, yeah, that, you know, and he started to be like, he could tell, you know, he could tell, like, you know, what it maybe supposed to look like and then what I was doing. So, you know, but both two very supportive parents that I had that drove us to every dance class and every recital, and you know, it back and forth to the Bay Area because that's kind of the only like form of like outside, you know, work that we could get commercially or anything, you know, before we kind of made the move, you know, to LA.
So were you and Monique just making stuff up in like your living room and stuff? Like,
I'm
because right now people don't know them. Like, and if you know Jeri, then you know Monique. But you guys
right.
are literally, you may as well be twins. Like you're connected at the hip. Wherever there's Jeri, there's Monique. Wherever there's Mo, there's Jeri. And it's like I can't imagine that you guys didn't stay up every night, like making up or learning choreography off the TV, or like, hey, let's have a talent show.
Yep. All of that. Literally, like till the wee hours, my parents would come into our room and be like, what are you guys doing? Because we'd shut the door. We'd have like a, you know, a VHS camcorder or whatever. And we'd be like singing and making up dances together and then laughing and cracking up. You know what I mean? It was like, it was just a constant. And you know, I think having my sister kind of along for this journey, like
Yeah.
I mean, I could literally start crying, but it's like, it's one of those things where just to have that family always there for you, you know, because sometimes a lot of us, we make the move and you're out there solo, you have no friends, you have no family, you know, but to kind of have that support of my sister kind of always there, it's just like, it's like no other, like I can't even explain it, you know, but
No.
we've been close since we were kids. Yeah, it's like crazy.
I love that you hire her for everything. Well, not everything, but probably everything that you can, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I hired her for everything that I could. Like she's
Yeah.
a beautiful soul. She's my big butt sister.
Yeah.
And
That's right. I know it's crazy. It's like, you know, my sister is she knows, right? Like there's certain things that maybe she's not right for, or, you know, maybe height becomes an issue or whatever, you know, we both know that, you know, it's one of those things that comes with, you know, typecasting back in the day, and like, you know, certain artists you may not work for because of these things, you know. It's a little bit different nowadays, I feel like, but I think when we were growing up, it was pretty specific, you know. So we're okay with that, you know, and you have to be, you
yeah,
know, you learn the process very quickly. You know, you get emotional if you don't get the audition, you're like beating yourself up, like, what did I do wrong? You know, I remember Jamie King one day was like, I was like, what is it? Like, I'm like, I keep auditioning for you. And I'm like, I make it all the way to the end. And why am I not booking the jobs? And he's like, well, you know, this requires, you know, someone, you know, more built body. I was very small framed, you know, and I'm like, cool. Like, I totally get it. Thank you for that feedback, you know, and I just kind of took it and applied what I could.